One of the biggest reasons why most high ticket offers don't scale to multiple $100,000 months and all the way to 8 figures is because their sales teams simply don't have enough appointments. And I'm sure you've heard it. Can I get more at bats? Can I get in front of more people to talk to if I just could pitch this offer more often? And now we've cracked the code on generating over 1,000 appointments per month for our offers. We've scaled one offer to over 750,000 a month. I've also scaled brand new offers in the investment space from zero all the way to $800,000 a month in 6 months. Combined between all of my companies, we've done over $1 million a month. And at this point, we've generated tens of thousands of appointments. What I've concluded after trying both, going all in on organic content and going all in on ads, is that in a perfect world, you have ads as the foundation. It's very consistent. Again, it's targeting your ideal demographic. You can have call outs, you can have filters, et cetera, and then content should be the icing on the cake. So with that in mind, today I'm going to talk about how to actually get to 1,000 appointments per month with ads and some of the biggest golden nuggets that I've learned along the way. But first, I want to show you guys my screen and break down some proof so that you could literally see how many appointments we're generating. This is for one of the many offers that we run. In case you don't know, we now run a management company where we partner with different founders to help them scale offers, and it's been going really well. So, and by the way, it's not like it's been perfect. There's obviously been ups and downs. The last 2 years, we've been trying to crack the code on this new management model, and it was really hard. And we had some offers that failed. We had some offers that really scaled up and then came crashing down. And we also have some offers that are still doing really, really well up until this day. So with that in mind, this is a culmination of what I've learned around ads to get to 1,000 appointments a month. So as you can see here, I'm going to blur out some of that sensitive info. But you can see this is Friday, March 7th. We've literally booked. These are the ones that are actually already happened today. Today's March 7th as I'm filming. All right, so this is literally upcoming today. As you can see here, 1, 2. So this is for upcoming on Friday. This is Saturday. So this is tomorrow. This is starting to fill up for next week. Whoops. Let's go to the past. So this was Thursday. This is a typical day for us. 1. Let's go to the next page. 2, 3. This is still Thursday. Let's go Wednesday and actually count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We're still on Wednesday. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So literally we're booking 38 calls in a given day, sometimes less, sometimes more. So 38 times 30, over 1,000 calls per month. And by the way, these are just the qualified calls. So we also send all of our DQs to a separate sales team for a downsell. And we do that through Go High Level. So I'll literally pull up the Go High Level calendar. As you guys can see here, this is all for March 7th upcoming calls. These are all the DQs, the people that shouldn't be speaking to the closer right away. So they're literally going to a separate sales team that's going to vet them out, and they're either going to downsell them a separate product or get them back on with a closer if they're actually qualified for the main offer. So as you can see here, literally and I went all the way to page number 3, as I showed you here at the bottom. We got page 2, page 3. Let's see, just today alone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Literally 25 DQ'd calls. So literally, on average, we're getting over 30 calls per day that are qualified, that are going to be sent right to a closer. And we're getting about 20 to 25 calls per day that aren't super qualified, and they need to go to a separate sales team first to either be downsold on a different product, or if they're a good fit, sent back to a closer. So if you actually do the math, we're booking over 50 calls a day, which over a period of 30 days, we're booking over 1,500 calls. So with that in mind, let's talk about how to get to 1,000 appointments per month. Number 1, you have to have an offer that you can actually scale to $5,000 a day on ads. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I spent 2 years cracking the code on organic, and at our peak, we were able to get to 100 calls a day from YouTube, which is pretty insane. The downside is that as soon as the agency space slowed down and people weren't looking up agency content as much, those numbers started to dip. And like I mentioned at the beginning, content therefore should be icing on the cake. It shouldn't be the cake itself. What we want to have as the foundation is an offer that we can actually spend a lot of money on with ads and then create content on top of it to help with inconsistencies with ads, quality's down, maybe an ad account went down, maybe that week the closers just didn't close that many from ads, and now you can protect yourself by having some of that flow come from organic content. But the thing to keep in mind is to have a really strong foundation, we need to have an offer that we can actually scale to at least minimum $5,000 a day in ads. And by the way, now when I'm picking offers, I'm asking myself, what are offers that I could spend to, that I can scale to 20, 30, 50, even $100,000 a day in ads? And I know that sounds wild, but if you can actually pick vehicles where you can spend that much money profitably, the ability for you to make way more also goes way up. There's all these influencers in the business space talking about picking a better vehicle. What does that actually mean? Well, for me, what I've learned is picking offers that I can actually spend a lot of money to scale. So this is the very first thing I look at. If you can't actually spend up to $5,000 a day on ads with your offer, it's going to be really tough to get to over 1,000 appointments a month because you're going to be limited. If you're in a tiny little niche, for example, let's think about like plastic surgeons. There's only about 5,000 practicing plastic surgeons that own their own clinic. And by the way, the only reason I know that is because I've worked with thousands of different businesses and marketing agencies that work with all the different niches on the planet. So I know some random facts about niches. Like, anyways, it doesn't matter. But the point is, there's only 5,000. You can't really scale to 1,000 appointments a month because you're going to run through the entire industry in 5 months. Let me give you another example. Roofers. There's about 100,000 roofers in the US. That's a slightly bigger niche, but even then it's tough to scale to 1,000 appointments per month. On the flip side, if we look at like homeowners, that's a massive, especially if we can go nationwide and do have an offer for homeowners that nationwide. For example, one that comes to mind is selling water sanitation services. That was one of the offers we were looking at. Ultimately, we decided to pass up on it, but all these people around the United States of America want really clean water in their homes. And a lot of homes don't have that. You can sell these high ticket $5,000 to $10,000 water filtration systems, and you could also do it virtually. So I could literally target every single homeowner in America. It's a much bigger audience. So let me just look it up real quick. How many homeowners in the US? There's 86 million owner-occupied homes in the United States. So now you could see the difference between going after 5,000 plastic surgeons, 100,000 roofers, and 86 million homeowners. I'll give you another example. Let's say that I have a weight loss offer. For example, one of my good friends, Luke, runs a weight loss offer for women, and he helps women lose weight with virtual personal training and nutrition. And let's see, he targets women over the age of 30. How many women over the age of 30 in the US? In 2023, there were approximately 168 million females in the US. And while the exact number of women over 30 is not readily available, it's estimated that around 34% of women aged 15 to 44 were in the 30 to 39 age bracket. And their demo is like 30 to 50, so it's going to be even more than 34%. So let's say it's 40%, just to be conservative. You're getting 40% of 168 million. Let's see. So his target audience is 67 million people. He can scale to way more than 5K a day on ads. And by the way, I think you can get to 1,000 appointments with about 5K a day, even a little bit less, like 3K a day on ads. So this is the sweet spot. But nowadays, I'm looking for offers that I could scale even beyond that. So let's break it down. 5,000 a day. You spend $150,000 a month, assuming there's 30 days in that month. You divide that by 1,000 appointments. You're paying $150 per appointment, which is pretty damn good. You get 1,000 appointments. So number two, you actually have to spend the money. This is one of the biggest reasons why people don't actually scale. And I put a little screenshot of just one of our credit cards. We use a bunch of different credit cards for different ad accounts, but we're spending thousands of dollars every single day. And in some offers, we spend more. In some offers, we spend less. But you actually have to spend the money. A lot of people want to scale and maybe they have everything dialed in. They have a good offer, a good product, good service, sales team. Everything is dialed in, but they're just afraid to rip the budget up. So you have to be willing to scale the budget. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because a lot of people just don't do it. For example, I actually was talking to my friend Luke that I was mentioning earlier, and I asked him, how did you scale to 3.4 million a month? He said, Joel, literally, and we met with him over Zoom. He looked at all of our numbers. He's like, Joel, you literally just have to spend more. And obviously that means getting more salespeople, more client success people, all that good stuff. But that's a given. He says the number one variable to you being able to reach that next level is just spending more on ads. Okay, number 3, I want to break down the funnel for you guys real quick. It's very simple. A lot of people tend to complicate the funnel. And at the end of the day, there's some massive offers that have extremely simple funnels. And then there's some tiny, tiny offers that have extremely complicated funnels. My whole philosophy is less is more. Keep it stupid simple. With that in mind, we run ads to a survey. No opt-in. We have a headline with a survey. Then if there's 3 scenarios, there's tier 1 leads, tier 2 leads, tier 3 leads. Tier 1 are people that are qualified and should speak to a closer right away. So if someone's a tier 1, aka this is the highest quality lead, they're going straight to the closer's calendar. If they're tier 2, and that means that they might still be able to close, but they need to speak to a setter first to either be downsold on a more affordable solution, or if after the setter speaks with them and they feel like, you know what, this person could actually close on our main offer, they get rerouted back to a closer after that initial call with a setter. So the survey, and then tier number 3, almost forgot. Tier number 3 are people that are automatically DQ'd. I showed you guys the 50 calls per day. About 30 were tier 1, about 20 were tier 2, and then you're also not seeing dozens of people that applied that never even hit the calendar. So people that are just not a good fit, we automatically DQ them and we don't even let them schedule. So again, tier 1, high quality, straight to closer. Tier 2, iffy quality. They might be able to close on either a more affordable package, or after speaking to them, we might actually realize, you know what, they can't actually close on the main thing, or they might actually be DQ'd altogether, by the way. That gets sent to a completely different calendar that's managed by a team of setters. And then last but not least, we have tier 3 automatically gets DQ'd. Then they go to schedule, obviously, depending on the calendar that they got rerouted to or didn't get rerouted to if they were DQ'd. And then we actually put the VSL on the thank you page. We noticed that if we had an opt-in or a VSL, because this is a B2B offer that I'm showing you guys, the market is pretty solution aware. They're pretty sophisticated. They don't want to sit and watch a 20-minute video. Whereas if we're going after a mass market audience, selling them some sort of new biz op or investment opportunity, they want education. They're actually looking to be sold. They want to learn more. Whereas if you have a very sophisticated high-end B2B offer to an audience that already knows most of the solutions out there, you just want to make them an offer and make it easy for them to schedule, make it easy for you to vet people out, see who's qualified, not qualified, make it easy for them to actually book a call. And then after they completed that whole process and they feel like, okay, I'm good, scheduled my time, that's when typically they start looking for more information. On the flip side, what we notice, especially with sophisticated market aware B2B offers, they're smart, right? They're successful, or at least smarter and more successful than just someone starting out at the very beginning. They just want to know and feel like they could just get the solution right away, and then they want to get sold. They don't want to have to sit through a 20-minute video and jump through all these hoops to know that they can speak to someone. So no opt-in, no VSL, although we do put a lengthy 20 to 30-minute VSL on the thank you page. And then through the whole sales process, we're at least the first week, we're sending them back to that VSL after they've already scheduled. All right, number 4, the ecosystem. This is important. We do have a team of setters to do a few things. Number 1, take those tier 2 calls. Number 2, they also help to clean up the calendar of tier 1. So if our setters have time, they'll actually dial all of the tier 1 leads or appointments before they actually have the appointment to try to pre-vet them and make sure that they're actually a tier 1 and make sure that they actually should speak to a closer. Because what we're trying to do is clean up the system as much as possible and then put as much flow through it. That's the idea. How do we clean up the calendar and then completely dump on the calendar? That's what we've noticed works best. A lot of people either try to have this perfect system with not a lot of flow, or a lot of flow and not a lot of cleanup. So our thought process is, how do we put things in place to be able to book thousands of appointments, but then also make sure that only the most qualified people actually reach the closer's calendar? So the setters are going to, number one, talk to tier 2 leads or appointments. They're going to try to reach out to tier 1 leads ahead of time and vet them out. And then last but not least, if they have extra time, we have them outbound. I know there's some people in the space that are huge believers in outbound. That's something that we're looking to build out a little bit more. But what we've noticed is that outbound really only leads to an extra 10 to 15% for us, whereas the 80-20 is maximizing the closer's time and making sure that every single slot that's filled for a closer is someone qualified that they can actually speak to and close on that call. So we use setters more to vet and clean up the calendar. And then secondary, we have them do outbound and set new appointments. We do have a Facebook group that we send every person that booked an appointment to. So on the thank you page, we send them to a Facebook group. This allows us to have them all in one place. We can now message them on Facebook. We can tag them on posts once they join the group. And anytime they log into Facebook now, if we're posting in the group, it is very likely that they see that content. Whereas, for example, if we're just posting valuable videos on YouTube, there's no guarantee that they're subscribed to our channel and are going to see it. We do send out YouTube videos via email, which I'll break down in just a second. But with a Facebook group, it's nice because once they join, anytime you post on Facebook, they're going to see it. And by the way, just to hook you guys up, I'm going to link my Facebook group masterclass below. I had it reserved for my 8-figure mastermind. I break down exactly how to run a Facebook group to not only increase the intent of all of the prospects that join it, but eventually even book more appointments from people that no-showed or canceled their appointment or just didn't buy on the spot, and then eventually help you close way more people. So as a freebie, I'm going to hook that up. I'm going to link it below. I'm not going to make you opt in. I'm literally going to put it in a Google Drive. You could just click it, go watch that training. It breaks down how to run Facebook groups. And what I would recommend everyone to do is literally add a button on the thank you page and tell people to join your Facebook group. We also put it as a PS on every single email. So now every time a lead comes in, or an appointment comes in, they're getting rerouted to our group. If they join and we post in there or we tag them, they're going to see our content. So this helps us with nurturing. The reason I put a whole slide on ecosystem is because with an ecosystem, we're able to turn cold leads, warm them up, and eventually have them become paying clients. Next up, we have YouTube. We try to post one video per week, either a value video or a case study. And what we actually do is we send it out via email every time we launch a new YouTube video. And we also post it as a raw MP4 file. That way it's within the Facebook group and it's not telling Facebook that you have to go out and click on YouTube and go to YouTube. That way it stays on Facebook. You get a higher reach. So we upload it as a video to the Facebook group. We send it out in an email to all of our emails in our database. And the idea is we got all these appointments. How do we warm them up and turn them into paying clients? So every time we get a YouTube video, put it in the group, send out an email. Besides that, we send out an email every single day. For all of our offers, it's a requirement. I have a full-time email copywriter. He's responsible for writing one email per day for every offer. Now, the daily email is going to be either social proof or value, ideally. It's in a perfect world, one of those two, either a screenshot of a Trustpilot review, for example, or some sort of valuable video. Obviously, there's some filler emails where it's just copy trying to convince them to book a call with us or reschedule if they no-showed, et cetera, et cetera. But for the most part, I'm trying to send them to either social proof or value with the idea of warming them up and getting them to buy. We also write a 30-day soap opera sequence. So anytime an appointment comes in, they get 30 days of emails. I'm going to break down how that works. The first week, we send all the traffic back to that pre-call VSL. And then the next 3 weeks, we have either a case study testimonial video that's actually on our YouTube channel as well, or a value video that's also on our YouTube channel. And the idea is we're trying to send them to our YouTube channel so that then they go through all of our videos, because if they've watched one, the likelihood of them watching another one goes way up. And ideally that happens within those first 30 days that they became an appointment or a lead in our system, and that increases the chance of them buying. So whenever we launch a new offer, one of the things that we're doing now was we're having the founder create 30 videos, 21 videos right out of the gate for those 3 weeks. And it's going to be a mix of value videos and social proof testimonials. So, all right, let's keep going. On top of that, every single month, we do an end of month reactivation campaign. We essentially sent out a text blast, trying to reactivate leads and getting them to sign up again. And we don't do any retargeting or anything like that. I know that there's some other players that are big on retargeting. We haven't seen a big bump in conversions. What we've noticed is that we try to get as many leads into our ecosystem and then give them as many ways as possible to get warmed up so that over the next 30 days, they actually make a buying decision and work with us. So for example, we do the YouTube, daily emails, Facebook group, pre-call VSL. If we can get them to watch a few hours of content, it's game over. All right, number 5, show up rates. We have a VA that's an admin for lead scoring. They help us organize the calendar. Again, the idea is having a full-time VA that's in charge of cleanup. If for some reason a bad lead ended up on someone's calendar, she can remove them. If there's chaos in the calendar and the sales team needs help with organizing everything, she's in charge of that. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not the chief sales officer. That's my business partner, Sergio Tavares. If you guys want, I can have him make an entire video on this process because he manages it. And he'll be able to give you guys a much clearer picture of exactly what it looks like. I tend to focus more on overall strategy and marketing. But with that in mind, show up rates. The idea is clean up the calendar and then keep sending volume through and then keep cleaning up and then keep sending volume through. And then eventually we end up with the highest quality prospects at all times. We also do set up double booking for all of our offers. This has helped us with show up rates immensely. We have an entire system for it at this point to make it really easy in case both people show up. And yeah, that's helped big time with show up rates because before, if our show up rate was 40%, so 2 out of 5 calls showed up, now we're doubling that with the double booking. So, and by the way, we're able to, and we'll get to this in just a second, but we'll be able to spend a lot more per closer, which keeps them nice and full, and they're way happier. It's essentially like having 2 calendars for each closer. The more calendar availability, the more appointments we could throw into it. And again, as long as we have a really good machine to clean everything up, the closers end up talking to way more people. Whereas most offers or companies, what they'll do is they'll have a ton of different closers. Instead of having 2 calendars for one closer, they'll have 1 calendar for one closer. And instead of having, let's say, 2 or 3 closers, they have to have 4 to 6 for the same amount of appointments. So we try to actually have less closers, more maxed out with a really good cleanup team of setters and VAs so that they are always talking to as many qualified people as possible. So double booking, again, setters clean the calendar, and that allows to just spend more and flood the system with as many appointments as possible. The sales team, here's what it looks like. For every closer, we have 1 setter. Most of our offers, we do start them on 3 closing setting teams. So ideally, every company that we launch has 6 salespeople, 3 closers, 3 setters, and they work together. So they have their pod. That way they can communicate really well with each other. They get to know each other. They get to learn each other's specific ways of doing things and preferences. That's worked out really well for us. We essentially put every closer setter team in a pod, and they're in charge of working together to make some magic happen. We do have 1 VA appointment confirmer via text. So we have a full-time VA that all they do all day long is confirm appointments via text. That helps out big time. We also have 1 VA sales admin per company, like I mentioned before. And we have 1 chief sales officer, which is my business partner. He is the chief sales officer for every single company that we run. What we've noticed is that he can actually manage most of the sales teams as long as we keep them pretty lean. In the past, we tried to have these massive sales teams, and now our philosophy is less is more. And how do we put as much volume and flood as many appointments as possible into a smaller sales team instead of trying to make it massive and spread the love out? So a few last golden nuggets before we wrap up. Number 1, spend a ton of money to max out the calendars. We look at the availability on calendars every single day, and we try to keep it at 95% of above on a daily basis. Oftentimes, we literally run out of space on the calendar, but I'll tell you what, that is way better than having a little extra space just so that you don't overspend. I would rather overspend and make sure that the calendars are at 100% capacity every single day for the rest of time than underspend and keep it at like 90%. Again, I want my closers to speak to as many people as possible because there's also exponential returns with closers having as many at-bats. They get better at the pitch. If they close someone, they have another appointment right after that. So the chances of them closing that second appointment go way up. If they have another appointment after that and they've just closed 2 for the day, the chances of them closing that third also go way up. So it's not linear. It's not like 30% close rate, 30% close rate, 30% close rate. It's more like 20% close rate. If they close that one, second one is 40, third one is 60. Fourth one is 80 because they feel like, oh my God, I can close anyone. I've got it dialed in. So the whole goal is, how do I get closers talking to people all day long? We also focus on quantity over quality. If a sales rep's ever like, Joel, quality sucks, the first thing that I do is actually go and see how many appointments they have on their calendar and how much at capacity they are. And oftentimes what we actually notice is that they are under capacity, meaning there's extra space on their calendar and we need to spend more to fill it up. A lot of the times, like, and this is a quick little side note, using ads to make money on the internet is a numbers game. It's not going to be 1 for 1, meaning that you're not going to spend $1, talk to one person and close them. It's going to be more like you spend $10. Let me give you an easier example. You have 100 prospects. You end up talking to 50 because the other 50 didn't show up. Out of those 50, only half of those were actually qualified. So out of 100, you actually only end up speaking to 25 people, and then you close half of those. So you're closing 12 out of 100. That's more so what sales with ads looks like. And instead of trying to close more out of the 100, I'd rather figure out a way to have 500 people filter down to the closers so that instead of them talking to 25 qualified people, they're able to talk to 125 qualified people and close half of those. So again, the name of the game is, how do I create a more efficient funnel that I can spend more money through instead of just trying to create as much efficiency as humanly possible with the limited number of qualified appointments that they have. Which brings me to my last point: less closers, happier closers. What we've noticed is having 2 closers that are maxed out every single day, running around like chickens with their heads cut off, is better than having a huge sales team and they're sitting around. The worst thing that you could do is have salespeople that have ADHD and want to make money sit around, or force them to have to do outbound, especially if they're great closers. I know some people are big believers in like, hey, we have to set a culture of outbound. If you're going to do that, do it on like Fridays when things are slow as a whole team, more so for fun and to show the setters that you're with them. But to have your best closer doing outbound is just such a waste of time when you have something as powerful like ads that you could use to literally flood their calendar with qualified appointments, assuming you have a really good cleanup process. So less closers, happier closers. And that, my friends, is how you get to 1,000 appointments per month, along with all of the biggest learning lessons that I've adopted along the way. So with that in mind, guys, if you valued this video, if you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a comment below. Let me know if you guys want more of this style of content. Let me know if you guys like the more advanced topics. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and that's pretty much it. Much love, guys. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day or night, and we'll talk soon. Peace.